What up, guys? How you guys doing? I'm over here with my main man right here, Dan the man.
What up, Angel the Kid?
Wait, what's your nickname? What would be your nickname if you had one?
Ooh, that's a rough one. Go by Danimal sometimes.
I like that. Danimal. I like that. Okay. So it's a new setup, guys. This is what it's probably going to be for a while. If you guys have any suggestions, hit me up on Instagram. If you guys feel like you can kind of organize it better, but this is what I have right now. But eventually I kind of want to, update it. But yeah, what's up, man? How you been?
Man, life is great. This last few months, last few years, things are just getting better and better, honestly, man.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, he's actually a lottery winner. You won 10 million, right?
Coming up in the world. We were supposed to keep that a secret, man. I don't want people coming after me for money.
Sorry, just forget what I said. He's actually the Rock stunt double, though, right? Just kidding. No, man. But a little bit. This is actually my landlord, which is funny, and also this is my brother-in-law, right? Wouldn't you be my brother-in-law?
Uncle-in-law? I don't know how those things work.
This is my fiance's uncle. Okay.
We'll go with brother-in-law. I like that.
Yeah. We'll just say best friend. How about that? No.
Yeah.
No, man, but just to touch on a little bit how we met. Obviously we met through my fiance. I don't remember the first time I met you. Honestly, I'm trying to think.
No, time flies, man. I can't remember either.
Yeah, I mean, I've been knowing you about like 4 years now, right? 4 years.
Yeah, definitely.
About 4 years. And then this guy, he lives out in the boonies, but now I live out in the boonies with you, so
finally got you.
Yeah.
It's not too bad out here, man.
No, yeah. I've been out here for probably like 2 weeks, and it's pretty good. Me and Allison love it here, so as long as you don't, kick us out or raise the rent or anything like that. If I ever am like doing the podcast outside, it's because he kicked me out. So just talk to him, hit him up. No, but so man, it's kind of crazy. I've known you for 4 years. I feel like I don't really know you. Like, tell me a little bit about your story, like where you grew up. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Start back. I lived a couple different places in my life, but the majority of my life grew up in Aurora. So I got to start there. Young kid in Aurora, it's a bigger city, medium bigger city. It's maybe some bad stuff going on there sometimes. When you're a kid, you don't really know any of that stuff going on. So younger part of my life, just skateboarding all the time. Kind of a precursor to ended up falling in love with skydiving.
Yeah.
But, back then you're just every day, get out of school, go hit the streets, look for a new staircase, get kicked out of a store, whatever you're doing as a kid,
Get kicked out of a strip mall or something like that.
Yeah. People hate skateboarders. And, and honestly, I get it because it destroys their property.
Yeah. So when you grind on the actual, it scrapes it and all that, right?
Yeah, it ruins the concrete.
Oh, okay.
The liability of getting hurt, it's like, do you want kids out there doing bad stuff or ruining your property? But I understand why they get mad about it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, back in, the 90s, skating was, the biggest thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Once Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out,
it was over.
It blew up. Yeah.
Dude, I love that. Dude, you know how I used to love playing Tony Hawk. It was so raw. I remember I had, I think my favorite one was did you ever play Tony Hawk Underground?
Yeah.
Dude, that one was fire. I wanted to go outside and just start skating. I would try to get into it. I couldn't. I'm too big for that. So.
Yeah, for sure. You do what you love. There's only so much time in the day to do all your hobbies.
No, but sorry to cut you off.
No, all good, man. So younger, skateboarding around, kind of a precursor to that, to the skydiving thing. It's just, I find out later in life, I didn't recognize it when I was young. I end up, I'm super addicted to adrenaline, and I didn't even know it at first. But when you go, you're skateboarding, you go to conquer a new stair set, or anytime you do something new, but particularly when the consequence can be you hurting yourself,
or you're doing something that you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that too. So it the fear of getting kicked out, or you might get hurt, or whatever it might be, then you just get all that built up in you, and the more I do it, the more I come to crave it. So I end up growing up, finally get into high school. I continued skateboarding for a lot of years of my life. But then by the time you get into high school, you kind of increase your sphere of influence. You're meeting different people. They start to get their habits. And then by that point, I started to party. And I didn't know it, but it was all kind of coincide. It's just like stuff you're not supposed to be doing. Something new and exciting, So on top of that, family life, they did the best they can, but everybody's got their problems, and that sometimes leaks into you as well,
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to that. Influences. I grew up in Aurora too, and it's like if you're in the wrong part of Aurora, you can definitely end up not doing the best things that you're not supposed to. But I remember, like, speaking on, like, growing up in Aurora, like, for me, it was different. Like, I would see all this stuff, and then I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? And then, like, sometimes if you don't have an outlet to, like, whatever, you end up just kind of going down that path.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I was going to say, so you were in high school, and then what happened like during high school?
So I'm in high school, start to get into more trouble, start doing worse at school, and then my parents stepped in. They tried to help me out, and they ended up moving to Wisconsin. And at first, it had a negative effect. I started lashing out and doing even worse because you can't see the big picture when you're a kid. You don't know what's going on. All I care about is like, man, these are my friends. This is the end of the world. They're all going to go on without me. And then
literally,
yeah, it was devastating.
And then I guarantee you probably never talked to him like now.
Yeah, for sure. It is not what I thought it was going to be,
like,
for sure.
It's so crazy. Like the people that you wish that you were friends with when you're in high school, you just like, you'll never talk to again. Like when you grow up, you're just like, like, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know.
Yeah. And it's not bothering me at all. I feel totally fine, but yeah.
You're like still crying weird, about it.
It's been 20 years. I'm still devastated over
like, you're telling your mom, you're like, how dare you?
I hold grudges, man.
Yeah.
We're Italian.
Oh, there you go.
So I ended up going to Wisconsin. At that, we moved out there when I was 16, so I had 2 years left of school. And then by the time I'm 18, I just get to I'm going to do what I want. They don't really have control over it at that point. So I somehow managed to scrape by high school, just still acting a fool. Ended up moving back to Aurora. Shout out to Ellison's mom.
Jennifer?
Yeah, she's always carrying the team. She let me move in with her, try to get my life started. And when I came back, it was very eye-opening. I didn't realize at the time, but my parents had actually done a great thing for me. A lot of the people that I was hanging out with at the time, they're getting in trouble, going to jail, not living how you really want to live, So So I'm back in Aurora now, start witnessing that, and then that's when it was very gradual, took a while to start, but I started to change my life from there.
Yeah, if people don't know, Jennifer was on episode, I'm going to mess this up, episode 10, I think. No, 12. I don't know. But that is my mother-in-law, and then obviously this is her brother. So
yeah.
I was going to touch on that, like, do you ever, like, obviously, like you said, your parents kind of got you out of there, got you out of that environment. Would you say, like, your environment can make you who you are?
Yeah, definitely. Something I learned from addiction over the time, people, places, and things is what you need to watch out for. People that you use with, specifically about addiction, the places that you do it at, and the things that remind you. I don't know exactly how to touch on that one, but if you cut those out of your life, it's much easier to have a fresh start and move forward.
Over. Yeah. If you move out of wherever you're, the
triggers are, you got to get away from that.
Just speak a little bit on addiction. How did you kind of get past that?
Yeah, definitely. So it was a real gradual thing, but for me, knowing what I know now, it's actually very easy to deal with. Yeah. I just take the energy that I was using there and I put it on something that I love. I think that people that struggle with that, they're bored basically, and they don't have direction.
Yeah.
Anytime I get a goal or I have something to focus on, it's just unused energy. So you need to kill your day somehow, or you're sad about something, you're not dealing with it, but you just need to take that energy and put it on something positive, and then think the ball's gonna get rolling.
Yeah. So you've been sober about like 4 years now, right?
Yeah, 4 years.
So, round of applause for that. There you go. No, man. I mean, it's tough. Like, just to touch on addiction. My dad kind of dealt with the same thing, so I can kind of relate to that. But obviously, not relate to the fact that I ever been through that. But I feel like it's tough, man. It's one of those things where you kind of, like you said, you have to put your energy into something that's gonna kind of like drive you and be more positive. What was probably the first thing that you kind of like started changing your energy into, that kind of like had like helped you with that, like with the ball rolling and trying to get out of that?
Yeah, perfect. So, I'm back in Aurora, living at my sister's house, and I'm kind of seeing the people around me. I don't really like what's going on, and I kind of want to change my situation. I ran into a cousin of mine at a family reunion, and I two of them actually, and we realized that we're all just like getting into playing guitar.
Nice.
Music has been a lot of people in my family are musical in one way or another.
Yeah.
To different levels of how serious they take it.
I don't know if you know, Allison does poetry. Well, she doesn't do it anymore, but she did. So
yeah,
she gets that from you guys.
Yeah, we're a very artistic family for sure.
Yeah.
And once we found that out, we just started meeting up every week, and it just that was the first thing after skateboarding that I found that like I could really just start pouring energy into. And it's a team sport. Once you get through a song with somebody else,
yeah,
it just feels so good to have accomplished it that you want to keep doing it. And then there's that addictive personality too. So like I found something that I love. I felt good to do it. And you're like, man, I want to play a harder song, or like I want to get more people involved and do it in front of somebody, and just get those emotions going.
So you kind of put that energy into the music, and then it kind of helped you with the addiction and all that.
Yeah, it was a very slow transition because, I mean, as you know, addiction and music, they're coincided as well.
Yeah.
So
if you're not careful.
Yeah. So in the beginning, it's kind of like I'm splitting my energy and I am focusing on this, but at the same time, that is still going on in the background.
Yeah.
And nothing changes in one day. It's a lifelong goal to
process.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say, sometimes too, like I would say musicians. I can't even say it. Artists, they kind of like sometimes they'll use that substance to even enhance their music. Have you ever heard of anything like that too?
Yeah, and I continue to do little things here and there. And when I initially quit, I thought I wasn't going to be able to continue doing something I love. But
yeah,
it's a deception. You don't really need that.
Yeah.
People will say it, but I don't believe that you need it.
Yeah. Just to touch on like a little bit. Right now, as of right now, you are doing the skydiving. I wanted to touch on like, why did you pursue skydiving?
Yeah, so we were playing music, and it leads right into it. So one of my cousins who was playing music, he lived in Ottawa. Yeah. Where we're at now, and the skydiving facility is in Ottawa as well. Yeah. So I was really trying to turn my life around. He was living alone in a house that he owned, and I was just like, hey man, I'm driving out here every weekend, can I live in the house with you? Yeah. So he let me come in. I kind of distanced myself from all the stuff. Again, the people, places, things. I want to change my environment. I want to get my head on straight. And it was by accident. So we're over at his house. My third cousin, he's the one who wanted to skydive. I never even thought about it. I didn't know that. I mean, you hear of people skydiving, but you don't think that a regular person skydives. It's really out of my realm of anything that I had even imagined before.
I would never do it. He wants me to do it. He's been telling me Allison did it. I can't do it.
Someday I'm going to convince you. It's great, dude. It's amazing. So he's like, asked me if I want to go, and I really didn't want to, but nobody else was going with him, and I was trying to just expand my horizons. Oh, okay. Be there for him,
but do something new.
Yeah. I was deathly afraid of it, so I wanted to kind of conquer a fear. And we found out he booked the thing, and it was like 10 minutes from my house. I didn't even, I never even knew it was there. It's crazy.
That's dope.
So we go there. I fell in love with it immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't even...
That initial, like, right when you jumped off, or was it, like, when you're up in the sky, you're like, man, I don't know, I want to do this, or...
When I got to the place,
oh, okay,
I fell in love.
You pulling up, you're like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So there's the hangar where they store the airplanes, but during the day, during the operation, they have them pulled all out, and people can kind of chill in the hangar.
Oh.
So we walk up there, and there's people hacky sacking. There's people skateboarding. There's couches in there.
Oh, that's
and I'm
dope.
like, this is the most laid back thing I've ever seen in my life.
You're about to jump to your death. Do you not understand that? And everybody's like, just like, yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
Super chill, man. Super chill. And at the time, I was working at Walgreens as a supervisor. So, like, the juxtaposition of my life and this life, I'm like, these guys are living it up. And
Yeah.
what am I doing? Like, I do not at all like what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
Like, not that I'm mad about it. I realize you have to work, but it was the first inclination that, like, there's something possible other than a 9-to-5 grind that I have no interest in, and I'm not making any money. So
Yeah.
immediately walking in the door, I'm sold.
That's dope.
So,
and then that initial, like, when you jumped and you got down, were you, like, scared while you're up there, or you were just like, man, this is great, I love it?
definitely scared, and I'm still very scared.
Oh, so every time you jump, you're still scared?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's scary.
I guess you gotta just lean into that fear, huh? Or how would you say that you deal with that?
Education.
Yeah.
Education, preparation. I take it very seriously.
Yeah.
All right, so we go in there. I'm already sold. It takes a while to get on the plane. So you're there for a couple hours before you actually do your jump.
Oh.
We get on the plane. I'm like, my cousin's next to me, and we're both like kind of psyching each other up and stuff. We fall, like, I was already digging the environment. We fell out of the plane. I immediately redirected the course of my life.
That's dope.
I was sold immediately. I couldn't believe it.
And it's all by accident. That's kind of crazy how, like, things work. And I feel like, in a way, that's kind of like God kind of leads you to there to, like, end up doing that. I was gonna say too. So after, like, that initial when you fell in love with it, you did it. How did you end up, like, getting the job there? Like, what was the steps to start actually working at Skydive?
Yeah, perfect. So
Chicago.
yeah.
It's not in Chicago really, but yeah, whatever.
I don't really know why they piggyback off that name, to be honest with you, but
yeah.
So we get out of the plane. The free fall totally blows my mind. That's quick. About 60 seconds, you're falling through the air. Parachute pulls. They deploy the parachute, and then things slow down dramatically. But you've just gone through it, so your mind is on 10 right now.
Yeah.
And super overwhelmed. But your instructor kind of shows you what's going on with the parachute. You don't take any of it in. You're kind of looking around. Just
nervous.
Yeah. Just nervous, living life. So they get you to the ground. We walked straight into the office and paid for another jump. When I was in there, I'm like, what does it take for me to do this by myself? I was hooked instantly.
Wow.
So I started asking questions. Everywhere you go there's a couple different there's a couple different programs that you can take to learn to do it. The one that they have at Skydive Chicago, you do 2 tandems. You do 23 student jumps, where tandem is where you're attached to somebody. You do 23 jumps where you're next to a teacher, but you're flying your own equipment. And then at the 25th total jump, you get your license and you're free to go. So they kind of break down the process a little bit for me.
Also, you do have to have a license. You have to have a license to become a skydiver, obviously.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And there's different degrees to the things they allow you to do. If you get an A license, which is the 25 jumps, you can go to most facilities and skydive. But then if you want to go by, like, jump on a beach, there's additional qualifications. And the more difficult or complex the situation, you got to get varying degrees of licenses.
I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, it's it's really, they're trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, because I mean, you're falling out of like what? How high is
13,000 feet.
Yeah.
So 2.5 miles.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there.
You better know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna jump with somebody, you better do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing for sure.
Yeah, man.
No, but I was gonna ask you, man. Have you ever gone into a situation where you're up there and then someone's like, I'm not doing it, and they like you guys have to go back down from the plane or?
Only one time I've had somebody come ride the plane down and not jump with me.
Oh, well. Were they like super scared? They were just like, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's as long as, I mean, everybody reacts a little bit differently. Some people are super scared, but as long as they're following directions, regardless of how scared they are, I'll push them out of the plane. But
what?
the minute that you stop doing what I tell you to do, I won't go because you're putting both of us in danger.
Yeah. So you kind of have to be clear and like, hey.
Yeah, like I see, like you came there, you obviously want to go.
Yeah.
So I understand that you're nervous, and I trust myself to get us both to the ground, but only if you're listening to me. If you stop doing what I tell you, we're not leaving the airplane.
You never been in any bad situations or anything like that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Were you like, what happened? If you could touch on one situation where it was like you thought it was gonna go south?
I mean, there's a lot of different situations, but it's tough to touch on them without really using without using skydiving jargon. It's very specific.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I've been in bad situations, but I learned from them. And the thing is, I'm not really worried about it because I've done everything in my power to be successful.
Yeah.
Situations are going to arise. There's no way to avoid it. I do it for a living. I skydive on a daily basis in the summer.
Yeah.
Things are going to come up, but I know the procedures to handle them. I go over them. I drill them all the time.
How many times off the top of your head do you think you've jumped?
Right around 2,000.
Oh wow! So yeah, you're well versed into like any situations that occurred. You kind of
I'm a manager at the company and I teach it. So like I'm surrounded by, I'm constantly drilling this stuff, even more than the average person.
Oh okay. So yeah,
yeah, I take it very seriously. So we got down from that first jump, go into the office, figure out what it takes to get into the sport. At that point, like I mentioned before, I'm working at Walgreens and I basically have no money. So it's around $3,000 to do the next 23 jumps to get your license.
Oh wow.
So I was hooked immediately, and I'm just thinking like,
what do I have to do?
What do I have to do to do this? So I'm asking different people. One of the guys who
sorry about that.
One of the guys who works up there, he was a mentor at one point, but turned into a peer. So I mean, like
that's dope.
Yeah, it feels good. Been there for a while, but he's like, can you get like a student loan? Like, what can you do to get money? Like,
so he was trying to help you out.
Yeah, he's just like thinking outside the box. Like, how can I get $3,000 right now? So I'm pondering this for a little while, and so go.
That's dope, man. I mean, just to touch on that, that's like, I guess that's what it's about. It's like having relationships with people that want to, in turn, end up helping you to do what they do.
Yeah, inspire
if you. Want to
like
do a career, anything like that, doctor or whatever.
Yeah. Find the people who are already doing it and get suggestions on how they pulled it off. I mean,
there you go.
Anything can be done for sure. So, and every situation is unique. So he gives me a couple ideas and it kind of inspires me. So I went to the local bank and I asked for a title loan on my car.
There you go.
And
sacrifices.
Yeah. It was a cheap truck. I had it paid off. And so it was actually, again, like you said, like God led me there. It was unbelievable. The truck was horrible shape, right? So I go in like, I'm trying anything. You don't know if you don't ask.
Yeah.
So I go in there. I give them all the information accurately. I didn't do anything deceptive, but they ran the wrong numbers. They thought the truck was worth like $20,000. And they were like, cool. They gave me the money. And I was like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, Dang, that's crazy. So it's like you said, it had it, like God kind of just like leads you there. That's
it was divine intervention, man. Like success is, or luck is preparation and opportunity. You know, like I tried to make it happen, but when you're trying to make it happen, things will work in your favor. Not every time, you know, but
once you start getting the ball rolling and trying to like get to where you want to be, things are kind of gonna move into that direction.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the same in turn, like with like me doing the podcast. It's like it's kind of just moving itself to where I want to be. And I was like touching on it, just to touch on it. Like, how long did it take you to get to that point where you're like, you're there, you're doing it, you're 100% a professional skydiver?
It was quite the journey. So, I got this loan. I went through the program. I got my license, and that was, I didn't have even that money. So now I'm broke again, and I'm invested. I really want to skydive. So, I like, just from letting people know my situation, they're like, hey, we have an event coming up this year. They had a skydiving event going on for a week long. They just needed help. They're like, you clean toilets for this week? We'll give you money to jump. So,
and people don't talk about the mud, man. And that's what it was. Like, you were literally cleaning toilets to try to get to what your dream was.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was willing to do anything. They gave me an opportunity, and I did it amazing. The toilets were immaculate.
He's like, you can eat off these toilets, all right?
Yeah, I definitely put in the effort. So, I worked that week, got a couple $100 put on my account, and I did so well. They were like, well, they offered me a job the next year.
There you go.
So then from that point, I touched on my financial situation. So to make this happen, I continued to work my other job full time and work that job full time.
Oh, so you had 2 jobs.
Yeah, and I'm working 2 jobs and cleaning toilets just to make this happen. So to get your tandem license, which was the ultimate goal, once I did that, I seen the effect that it had on me, and I wanted to do that for other people. So you need to jump 500 times, and you need 3 years in the sport to even take the test.
Dang.
So the next 3 years was just work 2 jobs, jump as much as possible.
Yeah. And then in the wintertime, you guys don't jump, right?
Yeah, so at that point, it was nice to have the second job because
winter you would work
just my normal job.
That's dope, man. It's kind of crazy, like the journey to like get to that. And a lot of people would like, I've never thought about professional skydiving or skydiving at all until I met you. So it's kind of crazy, like you don't know the process of actually getting there, especially like somebody like yourself, like, you know, dealing with addiction, not growing up the best and stuff like that. Like, you had to take these steps into place and actually put in the work to get there. So it's inspiring, man. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. And it laid a lot of foundation for things that I plan to do in the future. Something like to kind of, Skydive Chicago is a super big facility, the number 1 facility in the country, which was just luck. But I put in the work to be there, so that is what it is, and it's one of the top ones in the world as well. And to kind of touch on that, if you want to do what I do, or if you want to do whatever you love, I kind of had this thought in my head before, but it really came to fruition then. Go where the people are that are the best in the world. Like, I was interested in skateboarding. I'm hanging out with kids who are good, and the people that you get around you are better, then you learn. But if you go to the people that are the best in the world, you're going to exponentially grow.
Especially if they see the drive, too.
Yeah, everybody's going to want to help you for sure.
They probably saw, like, you, this guy that wanted to do it, you fell in love with it, you're out there cleaning toilets, literally, and they're like, let's try to help this dude, and then, like, look at you now, you're doing it. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
So, just to touch on, I was gonna also, is there anything else you wanted to touch on the skydiving before I was gonna ask about?
Yeah, nah, I mean that's it. I could really go into stories and stuff like that, but it's tough to explain without actually being there. I do recommend that everyone try it.
Not me though.
Yeah, no, I really do. I've never seen somebody mad that they did it.
Yeah, after the fact.
Yeah. Everybody is stoked. Not everybody is like me. It's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
Who
in love with it.
Yeah, blows their mind, and they never want to leave, and they want to clean toilets and stuff like that.
Toilets, selling their car, doing it.
Yeah.
Did you change the VIN on that car? You know you did, dog.
No, it was divine intervention, man. Super lucky. So I strongly suggest that, and not just that, but get out of your comfort zone, man, and you'll be very surprised where the world takes you. I didn't anticipate doing that. It was just me trying something new, and then completely changed my life, you know?
That's kind of crazy, man, to think about, like, where you started and now what you're doing. So
Yeah,
definitely. So where can people go to skydive if they want it? It's called Skydive Chicago.
Yeah, Skydive Chicago. If you're in this area, there's a couple other facilities. CSE's in Rochelle, and Skydive Midwest is in Madison, I think, just past Chicago. That's all the closest places. But honestly, Skydive Chicago is one of the best facilities in the world. When I got there, and you hear that from people, and at first, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but you're hearing it, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. People try to sell you. So, like, I didn't really pay it any mind. But over the years, the stuff that you see there is amazing. Their sponsored 4-way team has been number 1 in the world for like 10 years in a row. Nobody is even close to what they're doing. The military comes out there and trains. 2016 we had Mondial, which is the world skydiving. It's basically the Olympics of skydiving. It's only been in America once, and it was here. Every other time
at the location
at Skydive Chicago.
Oh, wow,
every other time it's in somewhere else in the world, Europe or something like that. So most people don't even have the facilities to have that many people here.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that about that.
Our safety is like we're all about it. It's a fantastic location. There's other places that you can go, and I mean most of them are safe. I don't have anything bad to say about them, but yeah, for sure.
He's been there. He's got the work. He's know the people. So
toilets are clean.
Yeah, toilets are clean. Okay, so
Yeah, definitely.
Just to touch on too, man. Well, just to speak on, now you're getting into entrepreneurship. So now you're getting into owning your own property. How's that been going? Obviously, it's going well because I'm in here.
Yeah, it's going really well, man. I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm kind of looking around. And skydiving is amazing. I plan to continue to do that, but I'm just looking. I don't want to work hard until the day I die.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not willing to work hard, but I see a lot of older people who have nothing set aside, and I haven't planned anything until now.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's too late. I'm switching some things up right now.
Yeah.
So I plan to continue. I want to keep skydiving for a long time, and having that fulfillment in my life and kind of sharing it with other people. But I'm also working on these side things that way. I can live a more comfortable life.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, because what you said, why do you think that some people have this mindset that they feel like they don't have enough time, or they're out, or like they wasted time and they can't do it no more?
I think because it's easier.
Yeah.
Like, to just say, oh, it's too late, so I'm not going to change my habits.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They get stuck into that.
Yeah, for sure. And I've definitely been a victim of it, but trying not to be anymore, for sure.
Yeah, because now, I mean, I remember the first time that we had a conversation about it, and you were telling me, like, yeah, I'm going to start, I'm going to, like, buy properties, rent it out, do my own thing. And I was like, at the time I was looking into it, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. But that's good, man, that you're doing that. I was gonna ask, how's that process been going for you as far as like trying to do that? Was it a lot more than you expected?
I don't want to say it was easier than I expected, but changing little things had big results.
Yeah.
So the first thing I had to do was get my money right. You're not going to start any business if you don't know how to manage your finances. So as I've gotten to this point in my life now, I'm completely drug free. So that's so much money every month.
Yeah.
I was really heavy into Red Bulls for a while, and I mean, that's a drug.
Yeah.
So I stopped eating out. I stopped drinking Red Bulls, and I just living beneath my means. I paid off all my debt. I don't buy stuff with credit cards. And the first thing was just getting myself in check. And at first that was hard to do, but once you get the ball rolling and you see a little bit of money in your account and you see a little bit more, then it's like it's a game. Like
how can I save as much as I could save? Yeah,
definitely. And then and it's that addictive personality again. Like man, this is super exciting. I'm seeing progress in this, and now I just put everything into it.
That's crazy to think about, like how in turn you kind of change your addiction into putting that addiction into something like saving more money so you can in turn buy property, and now you're doing it. That's great. Yeah.
And I think, like you said before, like how did I do it, or how can somebody replicate that? And it's the same thing. Like I just finding other things that are interesting me, and I'm putting all my energy into it.
Yeah.
So like we're starting to pick up now. You know, like when you buy a car and then you're on the road and every car you see is that one now. You're aware of it, so you see it everywhere.
Yes, that's crazy.
So I'm much just becoming aware of it, but like I'll be scrolling through Facebook. It's another bad habit that I have, but you can only change so much at once, you know.
Yeah.
But I see like, man, millennials can't buy a house and like all these things, and I flip through the comments and I just can't help but think to myself, like, I don't know your situation and I can't judge you, but how much effort have you put into?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't hard. I just did the steps. It's not like it was easy, but it wasn't one or the other. I did the steps.
Did the research.
Yeah, I did the research. I read the books. I saved the money. I called the realtor. I went on Zillow. I searched the houses.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I just did the steps, and that's all it really took.
That's crazy, man, because a lot of people don't want to take the steps. You know, they like kind of, like you said, they don't. They think about, I think, you know what it is? They look at the picture, right? They look at it like, this is what I'm probably going to have to do. And then they, in turn, think about it, because this is how I work sometimes. Like, in turn, you think about it like, I'm going to have to get this. I'm going to have to buy that. That's probably going to cost a lot. Until they actually take the steps and do the research, and then, like, you kind of, in turn, see how the ball starts rolling, and then...
Yeah, definitely. When you look at the big picture of where you want to be and you're not, it's overwhelming. It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
But what's the next thing that you can do?
Yeah.
You know, just do. You can only do one thing at a time. What is the next thing?
Yeah. It's like, have you watched the Kanye West documentary?
No, I haven't, but dude, I'm a big fan of his.
Bro, you have to watch it. It's so good. There was a clip that I actually have it on my IG, and he talks about how, like, all you can really do is try. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, just try. If you're like, literally, like, if you just try, you don't know what you can get to unless you just try to do it. So it's like kind of like what you're saying. It's like you kind of just have to take the steps. You got to try, and then in turn see how it goes. And I feel like more times than not, people that try, they end up going well. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Especially like if you work on yourself, you're like, you know, put the things in place. I guess that would probably be the first step, right? Is just work on yourself.
Yeah, look, what does it take to get there and work backwards? What is the next step that I have to take to get to the goal that I wanted? Like to buy this house. I don't understand how real estate works. I started reading books. And while I'm reading books, I don't have any money. So I stopped spending money, started saving it. And then like for this house, at Skydive Chicago, I'm very busy for 8 months. I skydive, and I also manage a department, and I'm on call. So I'm working like 60, 80, some of the busy events, 100-hour weeks. I don't really have time. So we shut down for the season, and I still have a little bit of work, but I'm just like, this is my time right now. This is the money that I have. I immediately took action, and it was like, this is either going to work or it's not, but this is the time that I have to do it.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, and then you're probably in turn like, what you said, you were thinking about you're getting older and you don't want to work your whole entire life. And then in turn, I would say my question is to you, why real estate in turn? Because like some people would start a business, some people would do this, some people would do that. What would kind of drove you into like the real estate aspect?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I I've always been creative and believed in myself, and I think a business is a good idea, but this isn't the first thing that I thought about.
Oh, okay.
It's just that when I dug into this, there's people out there. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
People have gotten wealthy off it before, and there's step-by-step instructions. So some of the stuff that I was trying to do, I didn't know what that next step was. I can't take action because I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's other things as well. But this was the first thing that there's just a playbook out there. So I just started doing that, and I have found myself interested in it. When I first cleaned them toilets at Skydive Chicago, I did it too well. I ended up becoming the maintenance manager. And I didn't know a lot about fixing things. That was another thing, like God's plan. Like the skills that I acquired there led me to where I am right now. Like wow. I wouldn't even have had as much courage to buy this house if I didn't have the skills that I learned from the maintaining the building to do the work that I need to do here.
That's crazy. 'Cause it's the same. Oh, sorry about that, guys. It's the same in turn with the podcast, because like I probably did like a year or two of just listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, how to start it, how to do this, how to do that. You know what I mean? Did the research, kind of just like you said, take your time, and eventually you kind of just take the step to do it. But
yeah, definitely.
That's crazy. But I was gonna say, what is your goal right now with the real estate? Like, what is, if you would want to share?
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all. I'm trying to. I've been reading a lot lately, and one of the books that I just read recently, E-Myth, was one of them, and it's like, so I got this house, and I did all the work myself. I got the house, I bought all the materials, I did all the remodel, got you guys in there. And
pretty fast, honestly. Like Dan was on top of it, and I mean the place is great. Like I can't even think of one thing that I didn't like about it. It was perfect.
I really appreciate that.
Perfect.
I put love into it. I want to do it with integrity. I want you to do your part, and I want to do my part. I really want to give back. I don't want to take advantage of anybody at all. And I think you're gonna go further like that. But now that I've done this process, I'm trying to find ways that I can be the boss and get other people to do it. So I have
that'd be dope, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me know. I want to do it.
Yeah, I have a plan. We'll see this year. My plan is to acquire another house, but only run advertising. Get a house that's very run down.
Yeah.
Borrow money from people. Pay all the contractors to fix it. Refinance the house out.
And then sell it.
To put a renter in there. But then I have zero of my own money in there.
Oh, okay.
Because with the refinance, I paid everyone back. Once the renter's in there, they're going to pay the mortgage. So then the only money that I spent was, it cost me $25,000 to get to this point to get you in here.
Yeah.
And I want to get that process down to like a couple thousand.
I see.
So once it's...
how many do you think you had to have until you're like... You're literally just making profit. Like you're just probably like 3 or 4. Obviously you're making profit now, right? But I'm saying like
it's I'm making. So I'm trying to learn how to buy houses. I probably paid too much for this house.
Yeah.
With COVID going on and people, it's a buyer's market right now where like prices are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Rent, it can only be so much. I did a good job. But the amount of money that is extra from the rent that you pay goes into an account for when things break.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not really putting any of that money in my pocket. So there's ways to get them cheaper, and I'll learn to do better, but I'm not losing money.
Okay.
And you guys are paying the house off, or the next renters, and there's tax benefits. So I'm not directly making money, but I'll improve the process, and then I will be.
I honestly, I feel like people would do something like that, and then probably somebody else like with a different mindset would get to that point and be like, oh, I messed up. But it's kind of good that you're not like that. You're like, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen until I, get to that point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely. It wasn't discouraging at all. It's a cost for education. Yeah. I wouldn't know what I know now unless I tried the things that I did.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked about it. There was things that it wasn't perfect, and it's not gonna be probably ever, but certainly not until I know more.
Yeah.
So the way that the plan to get a new house, I'm sure I'm gonna do quite a few things wrong, but once I can continue to refine the process,
it gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. It's kind of crazy that the real estate aspect of what you're doing kind of like translates to the podcast, because it's kind of the same way. Like, I'm getting better and better and better as the more that I do it. You know what I mean? So it's like in hand, it's just practice. Practice really does make perfect. So it's
yeah. I'm a big fan of what you're doing, man. When I moved, when I started skydiving, I was your age, and that was right when I started to have the mentality that you have, the mindset that you have, and then it takes a while, and maybe like one thing I found is like, even with the skydiving, I get to a point where I accomplish a bunch of stuff, and then I'm not like aggressively moving forward to something new because I don't really know, and then you get in a lull. But as long as you really care and you're searching for that new thing, I'm inspired now like I haven't been in a long time.
Yeah, and you in turn, man, you inspire me, and I feel like also it's just like kind of like, honestly, I feel like it's also God kind of just like, I don't know, it's weird, man, because it's like what you're saying. It's like you kind of have to go through these things to learn from them. And I feel like it's the same way of like how God kind of uses us. He's like, hey, you're going to go through some turmoil, but at the end of it, you're going to end up being prosperous, or I'm going to give you something. And I feel like it's the same way. It's like, I know I wanted to use my voice somehow. I wanted to do it through music, honestly. And then like that didn't work out as much as I wanted it to. But who knows? You know what I mean? I was telling Alice the other day, like, I feel like where I'm at, I might. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in turn, I thought about the podcast, and I'm doing that now. And I feel like...
Yeah, those skills stacked, and they're applicable for you right now.
Yeah, and then in turn, you don't know where you're going to be. Like right now, you're doing the real estate, you're doing the skydiving. Who knows, 5 years from now you might own like 5 properties, have a business, might doing this, you might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's kind of it's amazing that you just have to enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? You kind of have to just lead it by faith, just like kind of let God steer you. And sometimes you're gonna go through these rough patches and have to clean toilets and, you know what I mean, do stuff like that. But in turn, it's like, hey man, you never know where you can be, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But
man, I listen to a crap ton of real estate podcasts. That's like, I cut out music. I love music, but I could be taking that time to educate myself, which is what I'm trying to do right now. Seriously. But I recently heard somebody say, like, all the stuff you go through, if you were handed what you want from the beginning, it may crush you. Like, it's like working out. Like, you need to go through the things so you're resilient enough and educated enough that when you finally achieve your dream, you can handle it. Yeah. Because you look at people who win the lottery. Most of them go broke.
Yeah.
Because they're not educated. You don't know what to do with money. But if somebody who knew what they were doing got that money, they would be a billionaire, or flip it or do whatever they're doing. But
yeah,
you need to go through that stuff in order to get to where you want to be and be able to handle it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you kind of have to, honestly, you just kind of have to make mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same like when you're losing weight. Like, one day you might not want to go to the gym. One day you're on point with the gym. It's kind of like the same thing. It's just like the process of life and where it's going to lead you. You kind of just have to make these mistakes. You kind of have to just get through it. And if everything was handed to you, you would never learn from anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't make mistakes, you're never going to move forward.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be afraid to fail. Nobody gets it right on their first time.
Yeah.
Failure, if you keep moving forward, is a win. How many failures is it going to take you to get where you want to be? If you don't fail ever, you're not moving.
Yeah. You
have to be in that mode all the time.
Did you have to I want to say, but it's different for you. But did you have to change your mindset, or you kind of like use that, like you were saying about the addiction, and kind of drove that? It was kind of easier for you. Sorry.
It developed over time. It certainly changed. There was a few instances in my life where like the idea sparked, and I realized that I can accomplish anything. and then you forget.
Slow down.
Yeah. So, but
It's the worst.
Like if it's like a pendulum, and it's eventually slowing down in the center, and like I'm doing real bad and I'm doing real good, and it keeps going back and forth. But the more that I focus and I stay on track, then I stay in that zone. And nobody's gonna do that forever. But well, I don't know, because I'm only this far. But
yeah,
the more energy I put into it, the more I line up.
Where you want to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, it was great, man. This is a great podcast. I feel like, in turn, like, everyone has a story, and that's the whole reason why, like, I want to do this. And I feel like I never looked at you, like, I guess in a way of like that until I really saw you start making moves. I'm like, man, Dan really is out here doing what he wants to do, and it's great, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. You gotta want it for yourself, but when people tell you, it feels good. It's a boost.
Yeah.
You gotta want it and do it, but it's definitely nice to be acknowledged, for sure. I appreciate it.
I was gonna say, how, like, in turn too, man, like, you've been going to the gym and stuff like that too as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How much has that translated to, like, your business aspect, your skydiving, all that?
It's a complete life. It's a complete way of life. It's to be disciplined and do what you're supposed to do. As we touched on before, where skydiving's dangerous. When I first started, I was still partying, and I kind of went out a little bit, but things happen in fractions of a second. From when your parachute opens to the ground, it's about 20 seconds if a parachute doesn't open.
Oh wow.
So you have to be on point. Now, mind you, like, if you've ever been in a car crash or something scary happens, that time process is very slow. You're super aware, you can do all these things, but only if you're taking care of yourself. I not eat the best, but I try to not eat straight garbage.
Yeah.
I go to sleep at night. I don't do any partying. I'm trying to live my dreams to the fullest. And I also have people on me too, strapped to me, and I need to be really taking care of them. I told them that I'm going to do that, so that's the way I need to live. But as it moves forward, like, what good's it going to do if I figure out this business and I become wealthy and I'm sick? What's the point of that?
That's true, man. I feel like a lot of people don't. I'm in the process of trying to do that, but with the job I'm working at, it's kind of like, this job is basically a workout.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's kind of harder to, like, get the energy to do it. But I was telling Allison today, like, somebody's telling me to go back to the gym, just because that turn, like, you feel better, you're more confident. That in turns kind of, like, helps you to what your goal is and what you're doing.
100%.
It kind of just helps everything in general. Like,
you're gonna be in a better mood.
Yeah.
Just get that frustration out.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's on your mind. Nobody does anything perfect. The more you keep working at it, chipping away, it'll become a way of life. It takes time.
Yeah. Well, man, it was great to have you on the pod, bro. It was every single time Dan's always hitting me up. Hey, man, when are you gonna have me on the podcast?
Yeah.
And I was like, I got you. But no, I definitely had to get you on, man, just because, like.
Yeah, you gotta let people know what you want. I was telling them since day one.
no, he seriously did. Like, the first episode I dropped, you're like, so when am I gonna get on?
Yeah.
But no, man, and it's crazy, man. Like, I just want to say, like, your inspiration, and it's great, because it's like the type of people that I want in my life is kind of like people like yourself and people that are moving towards something. And I would say in turn, like what we were saying, kind of find somebody that's kind of like moving towards something.
Yeah, it's mutual. I'm inspired by you as well. I definitely dig what you're doing, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, man, to wrap it up, where can people find you on IG?
Man, I only lurk on there. I think it's DanielB.db3, but I'm gonna put some posts from here on there. Definitely get some more followers. But
yeah, like, I usually just go on there to talk crap. You're like, I troll on there.
No, to be honest, like, I just read comments of people trolling. I get lost in that forever. I never put anything out there, but
bro, that's a great life though, because you don't have to worry about anything else. You're just living the drama through comments. You're just like, Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a sickness. I'm working on a lot of things. I will get better in time. And I'm actually trying to grow some businesses, so I need to learn more about social media and get myself out there. But
yeah. And I got you, man. I'll help you out with that. I feel like with the podcast, I kind of just got better naturally. Kind of like, how can I get it to the next level? And I just been, so if you need help, I got you.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that.
But episode 19, guys, I wanted to mention a few things. If you guys can do me a favor, whenever you're listening to the podcast, post it on IG, add us. You know, I kind of want to get people to see that we have people listening to it. But obviously people are listening to it. I'm just saying, if you do listen to it, post it on your story. It'll help me out, and then help.
Oh, I got you. I could be doing that too.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys. Peace.